Is Lil Wayne washed? Well, to answer that question, we're going to have to go back. Lil Wayne is known as a good rapper, probably one of the most influential throughout the genre. He helped Drake start rapping in 2009. He popularized the name Lil for rappers such as like Lil Pump, Lil Uzi Vert, or Lil Durk. He also has old classics such as Lollipop, Mirror, and Love Me. Now, Lil Wayne's new album, The Carter 6, came out on June 6, 2025, and debuted to about 114,000 units in its first week. In comparison, The Carter 5, released in 2018, had 480,000 units sold in its first week and peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 charts. The Carter 4 had 964,000 units in its first week, peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 charts, and had classics such as 6 Foot, 7 Foot. The Carter 3 had 1.05 million units in its first week, and it peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, and it had classics like A Milli in it, and Lollipop as well. The Carter 2 had 240,000 units sold in its first week and peaked at number 2 on the US Billboard 200 charts in 2005. The Carter 4 had 116,000 units in its first week when it released in 2006. Well, of course, this low performance was due to it being his first album released. It peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard 200s. Although we don't know yet, it's projected to peak at number 2. Well, why is the album bad? The songs could have better supporting artists. Relatively big names such as Bono, Big X The Plug, 2 Chainz, Kodak Black, Future, and Nicki Minaj are featured on that album, but they don't have very great roles to me, I think. Yeah, well, also another miss, I think, on Wayne's part is the Elephant song, which, if you haven't listened to it, it's a pretty shitty song, but okay. The Carter 4 also re entered the Billboard Top 200s after fans, quote, went back to the album to hear something good that Lil Wayne had made. Most of the lyrics are pretty dry, too, if you've heard the album. It feels like the music is not the same as previous songs in the series, in the sense that he's kind of changed, but not in a good way, if that makes sense. Lil Wayne has also, like, I think for most of the album, the songs are mostly like against the other people in the industry. Like he's fighting other people in the industry. You'll hear more about it in this video, but I think he's missing the point here. He's missing the point. I mean, he has a few good songs, maybe 5 good songs where he's actually rapping. It feels like the classic Lil Wayne, but the other like 20 or so songs are kind of attacks at the industry or just don't hold up altogether. His songs were also weak as hell. Like the Elephant song, Peanuts to an Elephant, referring to the lyric in 6 Foot, 7 Foot from the Carter 4, was arguably one of the worst songs on the album. And as some creators say, the Carter 4 re-entered the Billboard Top 200 as Lil Wayne listeners retreated back to their favorite album. So, yeah, not really received well by the public. Another answer to this question is that his music nowadays just feels like it's not the same or similar as the previous songs in the series. I mean, sure, there's like 4, maybe 5 songs where it seems like he really put in the effort. He really delivered something that the Carter series is known for. But on most of the other songs, it just feels like he's dissing the industry, stating that, well, nobody else is as good as him, kind of letting his success go to his head. Yes. Past the album, there's also a very large beef that Kendrick Lamar has with Lil Wayne, or actually, I should say, Lil Wayne has with Kendrick Lamar. You see, back in September of 2024, the Super Bowl committee announced that Kendrick Lamar was going to be the headliner of the Super Bowl in 2025. Now, the Super Bowl was held in Lil Wayne's hometown of New Orleans, and this made him feel like it should be his. Later on, he would release a video of him crying about it on Instagram on a story, and he posted more shit about him feeling hurt, him feeling like looked over, shit like that. Jay-Z is in charge of the halftime show through his connections through another company, and Lil Wayne felt that he had been let down because, of course, Jay-Z is also another big influential figure in the rap industry. Others don't really think he does deserve it. One anonymous user on Reddit posted that Lil Wayne was probably not one of the best choices that Jay-Z could have picked due to many of his problems performing in person. Kendrick also has a crazy year of 2024 and put out many successful tracks, such as his album GNX released in November of 2024 and his success with Not Like Us and other features in 2024, which Not Like Us on its own reached more than 1 billion listens in just that year alone. Along with Kendrick's winning the beef with Drake, he had a great year. On top of this, as I mentioned before, Lil Wayne is not the greatest performer. He had very rough moments during a multiple of his concerts, especially like in Wheezy Fest and performing songs like A Milli on stage. And he was even mocked by Orlando Brown when he said, during an interview on Cam Capone News not very long ago, Orlando detailed reasons why he did not believe Lil Wayne deserved it. He mocked Lil Wayne, delivering an imitation of his song A Milli's vocal delivery. He also said that Jay-Z made the right decision.
I think that Jay-Z made the best decision ever.
Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want this shit, but I don't have to. I don't want to do. I don't want to do, but I do. I'm about to.
This all came up over the discussion of Kendrick Lamar starring in the Super Bowl halftime show. Again, in 2023, while doing a concert, Lil Wayne allowed some other artists from his label to show and perform their songs. Of course, this isn't what the crowd had paid for. They paid to see Lil Wayne rap. The crowd was very displeased by this decision from Lil Wayne, with many stating that they had paid money and had come to see Lil Wayne, not any of these other artists. Again, reiterating that point. Lil Wayne then reappeared, giving a rant about why this crowd was ungrateful and why he just was not rocking with it. So, yeah, he canceled the show. Not a good look if you're trying to empathize with your fans on why you should perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. This incident would later on come into play when the committee was deciding who would headline the next Super Bowl show in 2024. So, yeah. This is not the first time Lil Wayne has done this, on the other hand. And it is an issue that has come... Yeah, okay.
Folks, we worked too hard for this shit. We worked way too hard. This is my motherfucking artist, Allen. That was Twist, that was John. We on Young Money. We appreciate y'all time.
Fans were very upset, and this was brought.
This is not the first time that Lil Wayne has done this. And it is an issue that has frequently come up when regarding the decision. Wayne continued to whine about this issue, especially at Wheezy Fest, when he said,
that moment I said to myself, I want to be on stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my ass off to get that fucking position, and it was ripped away from me. But this motherfucking moment right here.
Yeah, not the best look for the Super Bowl committee to change their minds. Fans continued to be upset with Wayne. Kendrick even stated that he had been a Lil Wayne fan for years, and when he saw Wayne dissing him in his track and at his various performances, he thought this was super hypocritical, almost like a never meet your heroes moment. Kendrick said in his song Whacked Out Murals his feelings on Lil Wayne. Kendrick Lamar says, "Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down." Yeah, Lil Wayne's attitude and dejectedness would continue to rub Kendrick the wrong way. Although since then, Kendrick Lamar and Lil Wayne have reconciled. The two rappers had multiple conversations and were able to digest the beef thoroughly, with Wayne eventually extending an olive branch. Since then, the rappers appear to be on good terms, with Lil Wayne even appearing to encourage Kendrick Lamar during the Super Bowl performance. Now, the overall question of if Lil Wayne is truly washed. In my opinion, Lil Wayne is still one of the greatest rappers of all time. I still listen to the Carter 1 through 4 in my daily life. The Carter 4 re-entering the Billboard Top 200 after Carter 6 released is even more evidence that Wayne is one of the best rappers of all time. His music quality has fallen off, however. Like I mentioned before, many of his songs in his new album leave something to be desired. I believe that Lil Wayne has most likely passed his prime, with rappers such as Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Playboi Carti, and more taking the spotlight. Wayne's contributions to hip-hop continue to be felt throughout the genre, however, with even me taking inspiration for my music. But on that note, I'd like to thank my subscribers for their support, and I'll see you next time.